Today, will be doing an informative speech about why cannabis and cannabis plants, also known as hemp, can help the U.S. with many different things, including building, paper, and helping with stopping deforestation, and with replacing cotton with for cloth. So there are alternate. Um, Many different things are made with many different chemicals and many different things. Where cannabis is one plant that can replace all of these things with one thing. So paper takes a lot of trees, which causes deforestation, which has caused us to kill off a bunch of animals and plants in said forests when we destroy these trees for plants. I mean, not plants, for paper. Excuse me, sorry. When doing it, but if instead we used hemp for paper, we would stop with the deforestation and we would actually be able to get a lot of much higher yield of quantity from these hemp plants than we can from trees and other plants like cotton. So I've been studying cannabis and the different types of ways that it's used for about 2 years now, because it's my hope and business idea for the future. Um, so the biggest impact of cannabis that we could use hemp cannabis plants for is paper, because people go through paper, toilet paper. We go through paper like crazy motherfuckers. I didn't mean to say that. Like we go through paper really fast, like at crazy amounts. So many different forests have been destroyed, and they hold the animals and such. And so we need to use hemp and other and cannabis plants to replace the amount of trees that we destroy. And we would be able to use these for the paper and toilet paper and such, and we'd stop deforestation, which would help. Which in time the forests would get bigger, and it would help with our oxygen, and the trees would grow, and over time it'd help us start to fix our environment. See, a paper takes 1 acre of trees, whereas hemp can produce 2 or 4 times more paper than 1 acre of trees. 1 acre of hemp can produce 2 or 4 times more than 1 acre of trees. Hemp matures in 90 to 120 days, where trees take about 20 years to fully mature. So hemp paper would take a lot less time to manufacture and create, and it can be recycled a little bit more than twice, and then more times than timber paper. And then we also don't need to use many harmful chemicals like for bleaching, because hemp, however, can be whitened just by using hydrogen peroxide. Hemp and trees can both remove emissions out of the air, but it's in our best interest to leave the trees standing and to grow hemp fields instead, because we will evidently have a lot more products be able to be produced by hemp, whereas trees cannot. So these are different ways that it can help with paper. Other than paper, it can be used for other things such as building materials. So a big one is concrete. We use concrete for a lot of different buildings and a lot of different roads and all sorts of stuff like that for regular human life. And instead we could use hempcrete, which it's like concrete. It just is it's made out of cannabis or hemp herds, and which is the center of a cannabis stalk, water, and lime, which is powdered limestone. So that's all mixed together, and then when it's dried out, it basically dries back into the regular limestone bricks. And hempcrete, it's non-toxic, it's mold resistant, it has humidity control, it's sustainable, it's fire and pest resistance, and it also is a great insulator. So these are all the good things that would be great for hempcrete and why we should use it. But a drawback is that it takes a long time to cure. And but to make up for this, companies do use hempcrete bricks, and so we use bricks to because it dries out faster than regular hempcrete. And then other than that, my last major usage for cannabis plants, also known as hemp, would be for clothing. Hemp clothing is very useful because it lasts a lot longer than cotton clothing or polyester clothing, and it's very water and pesticide and my bad. Cotton is a very water and pesticide intensive plant. It needs a lot of water and it needs a lot of care for it and a lot of watching it. And then it's a very intense plant to grow. Whereas hemp it requires very less pesticides, fertilizers, and herbicides, and it also requires less water, and it grows quicker, and it also uses minimal nutrients from the soil. So you can replant hemp plants a bunch of times, whereas cotton plants is very hard. They take a lot of nutrients from the soil. Hemp plants can and will produce 1,500 pounds of fiber per acre, whereas cotton only produces about 500 pounds of fiber per acre. So that is a big, so for every acre of hemp, you would get 1,000 more pounds of fiber than you would every acre of cotton. And then hemp clothing also is fully degradable. 5 minutes. And so these are but other than that, other than it being very degradable and very good for the environment, this is the reasons of why I believe that we should legalize hemp throughout the country and why it can be used for a lot of things in this environment and in our time. So I hope that you guys take this and remember that we can stop deforestation and hemp can help us save our planet.